Welcome everyone to another live stream from Sentry. I'm Serge. I am part of the developer experience team here. And today, what we're going to be talking about is local debugging and some of the tools that we've been working on here at Sentry to help with that. A lot of people know Sentry for error tracking and monitoring, and we're great at that. But I'd like to think of Sentry as like the tool to help you build better software throughout the whole process. And so without further ado, I am going to invite Adi on
Hey.
stage. Adi is part of our member of our technical staff. He's also the resident Hono JS expert. So if you have any questions about Hono, hit him up on Twitter. And yeah, Adi, why don't you do a little introduction? You recently joined Sentry, but
Yeah.
let us know where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like a big Hono fan and a lot of appreciation for the whole ecosystem. And lately been in Sentries, and we are building some really cool stuff. Like as Sergey told, like Sentry is not just for like cloud errors and logs, but now we want to get that experience locally because like how today we have got like coding agents, all of those are running locally for you, and you are vibe coding all the stuff. So production errors and all are good in the cloud, but we also need some sort of repository of these things available for us locally so that we can sort of give agents access to it more and more. And yeah, so that's basically what me and my teammates are working on to basically build like a local Sentry for you. You can just run it locally. Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I guess like this idea is quite new, and the thing is that we bring all of the tech that Sentry have locally for you, so the errors, traces, and logs. And yeah, let's
Let's take a
see it in
look.
action, I
Show
guess.
people, show
Yeah.
people the code.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just figure out sharing screen. Okay. Yep. Uh,
Also, just so everyone knows, this is a live demo and things could go wrong. We don't know, but don't hold us accountable.
yeah. Demo
Okay,
words,
I
please
see a
believe in me.
screen and let's take a look. We can probably do something like this.
Great. So this is like your standard Next.js app. Nothing fancy. It's just like we are creating a chat application with OpenAI's API. So we have got AI SDK over here, a basic, like very bare bone chat interface. Let's run it to see the UI. Honestly, it's such an amazing UI. You're gonna like fall in love with it. Really amazing. It's like just hi, and the message goes to the API, and we get the response. And it also has a tool, so we can say like, what is the weather in SF, and it's gonna do a tool call to our API, and we
Do you
got
want to
a
bump up
message.
your size a little bit?
Okay. Shit. Mm, yep. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a basic chat interface just to communicate with the OpenAI's LLM model over here. And yeah, this is our app, like the homepage, and this is our chat route where we are calling the APIs to talk with the LLM. Basic app. And now one of the things, like when you're vibe coding these, is like you got like errors and logs happening, but some of them are on the browser, some of them are happening on the server side. And this could like sort of expand based upon like what sort of application you're developing. Like maybe you have a server running and a separate repo, like you're running a Hono server on a separate package, right? So things can get complicated and a lot of errors are happening, so it's hard to keep track of that. That's why we have got like Spotlight. So the idea of Spotlight is to be an errors, logs, and traces repository. So it's just a way to store all these things together so that you can sort of give those to your LLM agents, coding agents, and others, like just monitor stuff like how, where these errors are happening and how things are coming in and going out. That way it gets you a better idea of where the error is coming from. So let's, I will stop talking, let's see it in action. I have like the command over here already. So npx, yeah, let's just close this. Npx spotlight js/spotlight run is that command, and we are going to use like a port. We can like assign any port. It automatically like randomly assign one for you, but like if you want to specify one, you can do that, and whatever command that you want to run with it. Now if you execute this, it's gonna like sort of initialize spotlight and run that command for you. Okay, let's do it without the port. I guess I've already one version of spotlight running somewhere. So yeah, it's gonna like randomly run on a port, and you can see like we have got all these Next.js logs which we usually see, but with some extra parameters over here. And if we just load this page again, it's going to take a bit, yeah. But as you can see over here, the info is like a log statement which we usually see in your console, but it also has these traces and errors which kind of like reflects like spans for like Sentry. So it's like we visited this page, we got an error for this, and if I visit like some other page, like for example I have like this sample error page for myself over here, Sentry example page. If I visit this,
And this is
I'm gonna
what you
also
usually
see.
get when you instrument Sentry in your application. Using the
Yeah.
wizard, for example, for Next.js, it'll auto-instrument a page for you to keep track and test out your integration. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah. This is like that page. So this is like just to check if Sentry is correctly connected with your environment or your app. And if you throw this error, it's going to send this error to your Sentry Cloud account. But if you look at the console also, you're going to see these errors over here, which usually you won't see. Like these error might be happening on the server side or on the client side, and it's like a jumble of things. So usually like when you're wipe coding with encoding agent, it might be like, hey, I've implemented this function. Let me just try to run that server. So the server is running perfectly, but that error is actually a runtime error. Like when you click on a button or submit a form, these sort of errors are like hard to keep track and like hard for LLM to sort of check. And these are usually solved by I manually go to that form and click them, and then I've got that error and I somehow copy that or like struggle with it. Hey, I'm still getting that error, and we try to resolve that because you're getting all that in your CLI over
There's
here.
so many times where I am debugging something with Cursor and it's like, oh, let me run this dev command to make sure that the server is started. And I'm like, it's already running. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And so this is, I guess, a really great way to kind of like have the persistence of all of the logs, traces, and errors all being collected somewhere locally.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that I think a lot of people might be concerned about is if you're connecting Sentry and you're debugging locally and you add a use effect that sends a bunch of errors to Sentry, you might run out of your quota. What are some of the ways that you can still use Spotlight but not have it be sent to Sentry while you're doing debugging locally to make sure that like all of the information that's critical to your users and all of the production data that you get from your users will end up in Sentry while you're doing local development?
Yeah, like the best part about Spotlight Run is it's like not really dependent on the Sentry package itself. It just takes all the logs and things. Adding Sentry kind of gives it access to all those plugins to sort of enrich like all these console logs and enabling extra things. But if you want to sort of disable sending these to your Sentry Cloud, you can just remove the DSN from here. Like if you just comment out, it's not going to send it over here. So now we are still getting these traces and all, but now it will not be going to your Sentry Cloud.
Yeah, and you just want to make sure that you do that for your, I think there's a Sentry server config for Next.js. There's a Sentry Edge and a client one. So all of those, just comment out your DSN and things won't be sent to Sentry from your local environment, but we'll still be collecting them in this CLI. Spotlight. But like, I'm a front end developer. I love looking at UIs. I don't want to look at a terminal the whole time.
For you, I got it. Like we also have the UI for this. So like it's kind of tedious to look at all these logs and error. So if you look initially, we have got like the localhost and like a random port assigned to it where we are sending these streams. So if you just open this, or like the Spotlight UI over here, this UI basically grabs all the logs over on your server, like which you're seeing on the call here. So over here we have got all that we saw. If you just like sort it through the timestamp, you can see like this is how like our server started, and these were like the errors and the logs that were going on, and these errors are showing up over here.
So this is
the
like
one that we just
this is like a mini instance of Sentry for your local development.
exactly that's the main idea, right? You got like the traces and everything. And here's the cool part. Like if you are like we want it to be like good for the AI and MCP stuff, so we have added like a few stuff regarding that. So like if you sort of say like communicating with your agent over here, so all these transactions will also be showing up in your UI. And over here you can see like this an AI tag over here. So this is like the basic view of like if you go to any of these traces, you can see like how it happened, like what were the API calls and how much time it took for that call. But like in these AI ones, it basically says like we are communicating with an LLM agent. So we have got an AI mode where you can actually see what communication was going on between the user and the agent. Yeah,
that's really
and
cool.
also like some metadata which might be interested for a few users, like token count on all these prompts and things, and max retry. So like if I just have like what is the weather in SF, that tool call happening, and all that will also be showing up over here. Yep, over here you can see as they're happening, it's coming in. And yeah, you can see like this is like our end result. And we have got the other tracks also where we can see like this was like the arguments passed, and we got the results, things like that, which is really insightful for people building these.
Yeah, like beyond capturing errors, you get to see the full stack trace. So like you see the trace waterfall of all of the requests that are happening within your local environment. You can see how long they took, and you can see all this different metadata. And like for the Gen AI stuff, are you able to also see the cost of it? So that like when you're debugging locally, instead of going to OpenAI to the dashboard to see how much all your vibe coding is costing you, you can actually see it right here as well.
That's
very cool.
Thing like my teammate created, like it's a great feature, and especially great for people who are building on top of agents and all. And yeah, this gives you some metadata that might be helpful for you. But this is not like the only thing like the Sentry is the Spotlight is good with, right? We've got like errors, but the thing is like these tracks give you an idea of like where that error was happening and the breadcrumbs and context. But the good thing is you can actually copy this for AI.
I'm not looking at it myself. I'm not looking at stack traces. I'm not going into these pages myself. I want to copy and paste.
Yeah, exactly, right? I've got an error and I'm like, I don't know like how to solve that. I'm just vibe coding the whole stuff, right? So I can just like, oh, this error happened. I can just copy this and paste it in my Claude or Cursor, wherever you want to do this, and it's gonna work with its magic, because it basically gives you all the markdown and like the important stuff. Like it gives you that in markdown, or all the stack trace and important details that might be interested by the agent to sort of resolve these issues.
And the best part about it is like usually what I would do is I would say, hey, fix this, like this page is not working, fix this. And the agent would have no context as to like what is actually happening. And so it sounds like Spotlight is giving me like all this different additional context, which is what the agent needs to actually effectively do this thing.
Exactly. Like this being locally available, you don't have to really go to the UI on Sentry Cloud to sort of get that and paste it over. It's all running locally for you, so you can easily do debugging. But by the way, like you said, like you are sort of asking the agent like this error. We also have an MCP support for this. You don't really have to copy this.
I don't even need to copy the what?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going all in on this, really, just adding all the like ticking all the checkboxes for this.
And so
and
just like on auto run.
Yeah. So if you like just go to the website of Spotlight.js, there you can see the instruction to connect Claude or cursor. Like if you just click on it, it will add the MCP server onto your cursor instance or Claude. So let's look that in action. What I'm going to do is like, let's do one thing. Let's add an error, like on purpose. Let's see like what happens over here. So usually like you might have like some sort of tool call getting failed over here, right? So let's see, get weather. What we can do is we can add like a try catch block, and this is like how you might be sort of doing this in production. So if I just close this, so you have like a tool call, you have like your try catch, and you are sending those errors which happened to Sentry, and just saying like error fetching weather data, something like that, right? And let's manually add like an error.
And this is just to simulate,
error.
like a lot of these tool calls might be external APIs. Like your agentic workflow can be very complex. It's not just like
Yeah,
taking data and putting output. It's a lot of steps that it can go through, and any of those steps can be calling like a third-party API or something else.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
trying to debug that in an output where like it's a black box of you put in an input with your text and now you're expecting an output. Any of those steps can fail, and it will be really
Yeah,
hard to debug. So let's see
exactly.
how this
Like
works. Yeah.
there's like a lot of variable when LLM agents are working. So like the parameters could be wrong, or like the format wasn't correct, and Spotlight helps you with that, right? Because it acts as a like repository for all these errors and logs, so you can just visit that and look at like what went wrong. So this over here, like this is how you usually have like a try catch block, and we are manually adding an error over here. So let's see that happen. Okay, if I go back to my app, just refresh this thing, I'm gonna say like, what is the weather in Delhi? Let's change it.
By the way, for anyone watching, do not steal this local project that we're working on. It's our next $1 million idea.
Yeah.
We're building an agentic weather app.
There's gonna be a really banger feature for all those apps
Yeah,
out there, like just selling it as a SaaS API stuff.
that's good.
Yeah, so as you can see, tool call failed. It wasn't able to get the weather. And if you go to the Spotlight UI, we see like we've got like this error, tool error fetching weather data. And it basically tells you like where the error originated. In this case, like it's obviously where that happened. But it also gives you the whole stack trace of all the details
Okay.
and other things.
But
Now,
let's say I don't have this open. I'm not looking at this. I'm just looking at my UI and I'm looking at my code. How would I saw the error in the UI. How would I do this in my editor now?
yeah. So, like you mean by vibe coding, right? So when we are doing these vibe coding stuff, I prefer Claude, but you can use Cursor too. So over here, I'm just gonna initialize Claude over here. Let's do this. Okay. So
And you
just
have
a
the
second.
MCP server connected already in Claude, right?
Yeah, like as I told, like if you want to connect those, the instruction for this is available over here. You can just copy this, and Claude will add your MCP server. Right? Okay. Let's clear this up, and I'm gonna initiate Claude. Yes. Okay. So we've got the error in Spotlight, right? Let me just sort of. The port is actually quite important for all this, because I have like configured this at 8969, so I just need to kill this process first so that I can run this at that port.
And again, this
Yep.
is very, very early, works in progress. So we'll try to make sure that this the experience for the developer is very fluid. But we want to make sure the demo works.
Yep, this will fail. And if we just change the port to 8969, we got that error, right?
Nice.
And if now I go to Claude, I can just ask, hey, do you got any errors in Spotlight? And basically the MCP server has bunch of tools in which like you can get the errors, traces, logs, and based upon that you can just query this. So now we have got like this Spotlight. It basically did an error search based upon a
Yep.
time window. So like in the last uh, few minutes, 5 minutes,
Yep.
was there any error? And we got this error, right?
I
And
think
we
this
can
is
say
just
like,
approving the tool call.
yeah. Like I was just going through the basic tool idea,
Right.
and yeah, it's going to take some time.
And the good thing about this as well is like this is for local development, but we also have a Sentry MCP. And so anytime you have an error happening in production and you're trying to figure out what's going on, you can
Yeah,
use the Sentry MCP and go
exactly.
through the pretty much
Yeah,
the same workflow.
we are like trying to bridge that gap for local development and the cloud development. So as you can see, like, yes, I found the error in Spotlight. So this is like that error that we were sort of added, and it says like this is like happening at the post request. So it has all the details that it's required.
Okay.
So we can just say like, hey,
Fix it.
now just fix it.
Don't make mistakes. Make me $1 million right now.
Yeah, so and then like it can just stay in the background. The good thing is like if you can get the cycling and all that correctly in order, then these agents can be autonomous. It can just like run that app and sort of get that error and resolve those. It's up to your workflow. But that's the basic idea of how Spotlight works.
Hell yeah.
And by the way, like you don't really have to sort of use this npx command just to like initialize Spotlight every time. We are having like that run command as like an accessory, so that it's quite easier for people to adopt it. But we also have like the Spotlight app, which is an Electron app which you can use, which can run in the background. So you don't really have to care about this. If your repository have Sentry set up, it can just like sort of start sending all those errors, log, and traces back to there. So it actually identified those errors, and we can see, yeah, just
Amazing.
resolve those. So it got that. Great.
And so all you have
Yeah,
to do is download the Spotlight app, and then you don't have to fuss around with any of this npx Spotlight commands. It'll just be running in the background.
yeah.
And
This is like the app. This is basically sorry, it opened on a different window. Yeah, this is basically the exact UI, and you can see like it automatically synced with the one that we were seeing, and we got like all those errors that we were talking about. Yeah, and the LLM can just start using this and solve those things.
that's awesome. How do people get it? Where do people go?
Just go to spotlightjs.com, and you got like your MCP configuration. Down below you have like your download app, so you can download it for Mac and like Intel and Silicon stuff. But we also have like Windows and Linux binary. So if you could just go to the releases down below somewhere here, yeah, you got those two available for you.
That's amazing. We're hitting them everywhere. Whichever way you
Yeah.
want to use it, you want to use a CLI, you want to use a UI, you want to use an Electron app, you want to use an MCP server. We got you hooked up with a supercharged local development workflow. If you actually are on the page, make sure you look at the video. Adi is actually the one that put that video together, and it'll get you really excited about building your next $1 million idea. Awesome. I think this is it. Adi, if you have any closing thoughts or anything else to add.
Yeah, like the base idea is clear regarding this, and we are like improving this every week and adding more and more features. And like we believe like this would solve like like sometimes coding agents are not able to figure out these or hallucinating where the errors are. It has improved, but like this gives you exact the pinpoint location where things are going wrong. And yeah, like we believe like this could be a game changer in your vibe coding journey, and we hope so. And this is still early, and like we are doing a lot of improvements. It's not early, but let us know your feedback regarding this, and we really appreciate uh, whatever suggestions or thoughts you have regarding this.
yeah, there's a Discord Spotlight channel if you want to leave some feedback there. Send me an email, send Adi an email. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and